Raila salama. Raila salama.
Raila Odinga is a Kenyan businessman and politician often regarded as the father of democracy in the country. Raila was born into a politically active family. His father served as Kenya's first vice president. After completing his education in Germany, he returned to Kenya, where he began a teaching career, while at the same time participating in various business ventures related to his field of mechanical engineering. Later, he would become involved in politics himself. He was one of the most prominent supporters of the movement for political reform in Kenya, particularly for multi-party democracy, rather than the traditional single-party politics in the country. He would serve time in prison for these activities on several different occasions, including one stint lasting 6 years, and would receive numerous threats of death. After his last imprisonment, he would go on to work his way up the Kenyan political ladder, forming and combining numerous political parties, and running for president multiple times. Although he lost each of the presidential elections he ran in, he would eventually become the country's second-ever prime minister, and was able to effect political change in his country through this position. Join me as we dive deeper into the life, scandals, and career of this political leader. But if you're a fan of celebrity culture and want to know what really goes on behind the glitz and glamour, then subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Don't miss out on the exclusive content and insights that Behind Celebrity's Life has to offer. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Childhood and early life. Raila Amolo Odinga was born January 7, 1945 in Maseno, Kenya, to Maria Juma Odinga and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. He received his primary education at Kisumu Union Primary School, Miranda Primary, and later attended the Miranda High School. Starting in 1962, he spent 2 years at the Herder Institute, part of the University of Leipzig in East Germany. He then earned a scholarship to the technical school in Magdeburg, East Germany, where he graduated in 1970 with a degree in mechanical engineering. Personal life and legacy. Baptized as an Anglican Christian in the Church Missionary Society, CMS. In his childhood, Odinga later became a born-again Christian and is a communicant member of All Saints Cathedral in Nairobi. Odinga is married to Ida Odinga, Ida Anyango Oyu. They live in Karen, Nairobi, and have a second home at Central Farm in Siaya County. The couple had 4 children: Fidel, who lived from 1973 to 2015, Rosemary, born 1977, Raila Jr., born 1979, and Winnie, born 1990. Fidel was named after Fidel Castro and Winnie after Winnie Mandela. Winnie is currently studying Communication and International Area Studies as a double major student at Drexel University in Philadelphia. She is also a Kenyan representative at East Africa Legislative Assembly career. After completing his graduate studies in 1970, Raila returned to Kenya, where he became a lecturer at the University of Nairobi. In 1971, while still teaching at the University of Nairobi, he established what would become East African Spectre Limited, a company manufacturing liquid petroleum gas cylinder. In 1974, he left the University of Nairobi and began working at the Kenya Bureau of Standards as a group standards manager. 4 years later, he was promoted to deputy director of the Kenya Bureau of Standards. In 1982, he was accused of collaborating with the plotters of a failed coup attempt against the president. He was charged with treason and imprisoned, without trial, for 6 years. Shortly after his release, he was rearrested for involvement with activists pushing for multi-party democracy in Kenya in September 1988. He was released from prison on June 12, 1989, but a year later was arrested again. He was released from prison on June 21, 1991, and in October left Kenya for Norway. His decision to leave his motherland was probably because of the assassination threats he claimed to have received from the Kenyan government. In 1992, he returned to Kenya and joined FORD, the Forum for the Restoration of Democracy. He was elected vice chairman of the General Purposes Committee of FORD. In 1992, FORD split into 2 factions: FORD Kenya, led by Raila's father, and FORD Asili, led by Kenneth Matiba. Raila was appointed deputy director of elections of FORD Kenya. The same year, he won a seat in parliament and began to be known as one of the fathers of multi-party democracy in the country. He ran for president in the 1997 general election, finishing third but keeping his seat in parliament. After the election, he began to support President Moi's government, leading a merger between his party and Moi's KANU party. From June 2001 to 2002, he served on the cabinet of President Moi as energy minister. This same year, he was also elected the KANU party's Secretary General. In 2002, in opposition of President Moi's choice of presidential candidate, Raila left KANU to form the Liberal Democratic Party. This party then joined with the National Alliance of Kenya to form the National Rainbow Coalition. In the later part of the year, he was appointed Minister of Roads, Public Works and Housing in the new president's cabinet. In 2005, following a political controversy, the president dismissed his entire cabinet and reassembled it, without Odinga and his allies, leading him to form a new coalition, the Orange Democratic Movement. In 2007, Raila ran for president again, narrowly losing. He disputed the result, and widespread violence and rioting broke out. As a result of the violence following the 2007 election, former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan stepped in and helped reach an agreement between Odinga and the president to form a coalition government, with Odinga being sworn in on April 17, 2008 as Prime Minister. In 2013, he ran again for president, again narrowly losing. At first challenging the results when the Supreme Court upheld them, he conceded the election. He ran for president again in 2022, but lost to William Ruto. Dr. Ruto garnered 50.49% of the vote against Raila Odinga's 48.85%. Mr. Odinga challenged the results at the Supreme Court. However, the 7-judge bench upheld Dr. Ruto's win. The court said it found no evidence of hacking, and that no evidence was produced to show that Mr. Chebukati and other IEBC staff were involved. Awards and achievements. In 2008, Raila was awarded an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from the University of Nairobi, in Kenya. He was awarded an honorary degree from Florida A&M University in the United States, in 2012. He was appointed to mediate the Ivorian crisis in 2010 to 2011, which involved widespread violence following elections in Ivory Coast. He worked closely with President Kibaki in 2010 to pass a new constitution for Kenya, which moved some of the power of the presidency back to the local government level. Raila Odinga net worth 2023. According to Forbes, Raila Odinga is one of the richest politicians in Kenya, with a net worth of $50 million.
Lala salama, lala salama, lala salama, lala salama.